Welcome to our Omid Yom Shiur. Sorry, the Omid Yom anymore. Doesn't matter. Welcome to our Gemara Shiur. Shabbos Kufi Dalad Amud Beis. We possibly are about to finish the Perek. We may be finishing the Perek today, and the topic today is that very, very interesting halacha, the heter that Chazal gave us to start preparing towards the end of Yom Kippur, started preparing food for after Yom Kippur. Would you believe such a thing? It's Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, and yet Chazal, seems like Chazal allowed us originally to start dealing with cutting the vegetables as preparation for the Motzei Yom Kippur meal. The Seder, welcome back. All nice to see all of you here. Basically, the Gemara starts with the following question. The line starts with the word velitka. Yeah, it's a bit above the middle of the page. Velitka, that's where the line starts. Okay. The Gemara, by the way, this year is definitely for the Ilun Neshama of my father, Menachem ben Akiva. Hatzlocha of all the soldiers. We are all fighting together with them. We are in Torah. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. And we are davening for the kidnapped people. Hashem should bring them back very, very soon. Velitka. The Gemara asks the following question. We saw previously Machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel about the status of Yom Kippur versus Shabbos, and basically we quoted the Mishnah. Excuse me, even before the Mishnah, we said that on Yom Kippur, that is on Erev Shabbos, there's no Tkiya, meaning which Tkiya? Well, not the Tkiya of the end of Yom Kippur. The Tkiya, there are six. Are you okay sitting there? You don't mind that I move, right? Okay, there are six tkiyas that you blow every Erev Shabbos to let people know that time out, stop right there, yeah, stop working in the field, in the shop, at home, and 1, 2, 3. Then the final three tkiyas are to tell us that's it, Shabbos is in, okay? On Yom Kippur, that Erev Shabbos, you don't blow those tkiyas. Why? Well, one clear reason is because you're not stopping from any work anyways. You're not working anyways. It's Yom Kippur. You're not doing any malacha. That's a simple reason. Before all the other balagan started. Simple. Now comes another point. What about the Kohanim? According to Rabbi Shmuel, there is a difference between Yom Kippur and Shabbos regarding the avodah in Beis Hamikdash. Says the Gemara, leave it alone. Kohanim zrizim. Kohanim zrizim. The Kohanim, they don't know that. They don't need that tkiya at all, right? Why? The Kohanim, they know everything anyways. They're very careful. They're very Haredi. It says Rashi somewhere else, Haredim u'bnei Torah. That's Agdar Rashi in a different place. Haredim u'bnei Torah. That's what Rashi says about the Kohanim. They don't need reminders. Okay, very nice. So that's really all we have to know for now. Now, frek the Gemara. Asks the Gemara, Velitka, ki eichi deledi deshare b'kniva siok man mincha olamala. Oh, here starts the whole new topic. Frek the Gemara. Why shouldn't we, yes, be tokea on Yom Kippur that fell on Friday, to let people know that there's something unique to Yom Kippur that does not apply to Shabbos, and we're coming to actually allow you to do something. Wow. In other words, maybe the tkir is not always to stop you from working. Maybe sometimes the tkir should be there to show the difference between Shabbos and Yom Kippur, dafka lekula, to show you that there's something you can do on Yom Kippur you cannot do on Shabbos afternoon, and you are allowed to do on Yom Kippur afternoon. Now we have a lot to explain here. What is this? What is that thing you're allowed to do on Yom Kippur afternoon? So it says knivas yorok, to do kniva to the yorok. You want to translate kniva? Oh, that's a long journey through all the Rishonim how to explain kniva. I know you know it. Yeah. Now knivas yorok is allowed from mincha ktana, says the Mishnah Berurah. When it gets real close to the end of Yom Kippur, you're allowed to do the kniva. What's kniva? Say the Meiri and the Rambam. Kniva means to separate the bad leaves. Rambam, I have the Rambam here open, here, yeah. Rambam says, Aleph Gimel Shvisas Osoil, you're allowed to be Mekanev, Yom Kippur, Minuchal Mala. Mawa Kinuv, Shiyosir Sa'olim Amu Poshois, Vikatzitz Ashar Vitakonos Olachila. You remove the bad leaves, right, from the good ones. You cut, obviously not to, you don't dice it, just cut the basic cutting away the bad leaves from the good ones in order to prepare it for the night. Frekt, our good friend over here, Yaakov, and all the Rishonim are up in arms against They're a group, Rashi, Rambam, and Meiri. They all say to separate the leaves from the rest. Boiler, boiler. How come you're allowed to do something d'oraisa? Maybe the Rabbanon. How come d'oraisa? That's a question. Says the Magid Mishnah. I'm reading from the inside of the Magid Mishnah. Says the Magid Mishnah like this. He wants to say that, well, he says, Lo mikri boirer, according to the Rambam, ela mitoch psoles gomu, o min oichel min oichel acher. He wants to say that the bad leaves are not so bad, which means when you have real rotten tomatoes in the middle of your nice tomatoes, you have some real bad, rotten, inedible ones, you take them out, take out the bad ones, don't throw them at anybody, but you take them out, that's boirer. Or when you have two types of food. Yeah, you want to serve me salad? You don't have to. But let's say serve me salad, and in the salad with lots of nice vegetables, you put chickpeas. I'll say, thank you. I'll take out the chickpeas. That's me with chickpeas, not in love. Yeah. Chickpeas are very, very nice, but for me, they're psolis. And I really don't like them, and I would take them out. That's also boirer, because there are two meaning. There's, cucumbers, tomatoes, and chickpeas. That's boirer. However, to take leaves that are not choice leaves, they're relatively bad leaves, but says the Magid Mishnah, he says the ein ha'olin alalu psoilis gomu. They're not complete psoilis. Their leaves are not as nice. Taking the leaves that are not super nice out of the real nice ones, it's not called ber according to Rambam. Maybe you learned otherwise in Shir Halacha. I'm not saying that's halacha l'maisa, but this is those opinions. That's one shot. But the other Rishonim don't like this pshat at all. So they say knivas yorok means what I told you b'shem Tosfos. That's pshat number 2. I'm not saying Tosfos inside. I'm sorry. Yeah, the kniva of the yorok is basically to do the basic cutting of the vegetable before the real dicing and real cutting small. The cutting just to start preparing the basic cutting of the vegetables. Sometimes peeling is okay. It's another shalom bar that you're allowed to do on Yom Kippur afternoon. Why? We're going to discuss soon. Third pshat, you asked him, you're going to get it. Third pshat of many Rishonim who quote the Yerushalmi, kniva means washing. You're allowed to wash the vegetables Yom Kippur afternoon. The common denominator is that everyone's very careful, all the Rishonim, not to mention any Isur D'Oraisa. Nobody says you're allowed to cut it from the ground. That's Isur D'Oraisa. Or to cut it real small, also Isur D'Oraisa. Yeah, koitzel toichen. Meaning, the chiddush of knivas york is one, and that is you're allowed to prepare. Not that you're doing any chilul Shabbos. Yeah, the mere preparation from Yom Kippur to Shabbos, or from Shabbos to Chol, from a holy day to an unholy day, that is of itself is always a problem. Here on Yom Kippur they allow it as a special dispensation, special heter. Why is that heter there? Here, again, what I told you last time was true, but not so exact. Why? Because I told you, Machlekes Rashi and Balamol. Rashi says, why is that allowed? Why are you allowed to prepare Yom Kippur afternoon the vegetables? Aren't you supposed to be crying your eyes out in Ne'ilah? Yeah? Even the woman, right? Or, I don't know, maybe she's sick in bed, I don't know. The answer is as follows. Says Rashi, Rashi will tell us this later, because we dafka want you to have inui. In other words, preparing the food and seeing food in front of you and not being able to eat it Yom Kippur late afternoon when you're starving hungry intensifies the inui. All the Rishonim are against Rashi. They all say wrong. The Baal HaMor has a huge group of supporters. Ramban, Ritva, I don't know, everyone almost. Yeah. What do they say? They say no, Chas v'Shalom. I'm not trying to be tafka. You know what it means. The heter is you're allowed to prepare for preparing Yom Kippur afternoon instead of waiting for the night. How come you're allowed to prepare preparing the vegetable? As we just said, to wash, to cut, mechtesi. You're not allowed to start preparing Milav Malka, right?
Yeah,
Well,
how can you touch any food when you haven't washed it properly on Yom Kippur?
you did on the thing. You do. You do on the yeah. That's the shot. Yeah. You wash. So now wait a second. Now comes I think that's good enough. Lemaisi allowed to touch food Yom Kippur because he served food to children. It does say in halacha. I'm just respecting your question, and that's why I'm stopping here. And that is touching food in Yom Kippur and serving it is as of itself okay for children. You have your 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old grandchildren, children allowed. Yes. Why? That's okay to touch food and deal with it. We're not choshish people come to eat from it as you serve others. Now. That's the answer. So you see the washing the hands still here is good enough. Must be, right?
Yeah.
There's your answer. Now comes the Balamon says, no, we don't want you to be misane and start coming from shul, kittel, starving, your wife starving, and start preparing the meal. That's frustrating. That's why we're allowed to start preparing it Yom Kippur afternoon. Now, what about Yom Kippur day? No. Early in the day, you're not allowed to, because, well, there are a few reasons. One reason is you're not going to, if you prepare the food for yourself too early, you may come to eat from it. But late afternoon, it's pas besalo, because
What's
you
it
know,
called late afternoon?
mincha ktana. Says the Mishnah Berurah Mincha Ktana. Mincha Ktana is an hour and 15 before, 2.5 hours, yeah? 2.5 hours before Shkia. Yeah, that's Mincha Ktana. Okay? It gets so bad, this anti-Rashi coalition here. And Mishnah Berurah doesn't even mention Rashi's reason. That's rare, yeah? Only the others. Yeah, Mishnah Berurah only mentions the reason of Knivas York, what you know it's allowed, in order to avoid people waiting after the Tzom, after the Tanis is over. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה.
Amen.
Now they were Baruch Hashem more informed. Let's read again the Gemara. Frag the Gemara Velitka. When Yom Kippur is on Friday, right? Of course you can't start preparing anything. Why? Because tonight you're not going to cook. You're only allowed to start preparing the meal that eventually you're going to cook tonight. But since on Shabbos you're not going to cook anyways, you probably have cooked food from before Yom Kippur. I don't know how you're going to manage whatever. Well, the Maisa, you don't have, right? You're not going to prepare the food from now to Leil Shabbos because anyhow you're not going to cook it. We're talking dafka preparation for cooking, not stop cutting fresh salad. But still, the Gemara is asking: let the guy, let Beis Din decide to do tkiya Yom Kippur Friday afternoon. The lady, so people should know the shar b'kniva selok min mincha l'mala. So people should know that conceptually, on Yom Kippur, if Yom Kippur falls in the middle of a week, then we're allowed to prepare the food now. Meaning, right now, Chachamim are scared people will not know the kula. Interesting. Right now, in Chinami, you're not preparing any food for Shabbos because on Shabbos, anyhow, you won't be able to eat either, to cook either. But on a regular Yom Kippur, you will be able. So Chachamim are reminding us, remember, now we're not cooking anything, and you're not cutting anything. But on a regular Yom Kippur, which will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then you will be able to do the kniva. That's what the tkiya is for. Why don't we establish a tkiya for that? That's a question. Let us do such a tkiya. Omar of Yosef, the Gemara has two answers. Answer number one. Omar of Yosef, lefi she'en doichin shvus lahatir. They're very simple, as explained last time. Pashut, you don't push away a shvus in order to create a kula, meaning blowing shofar, last time I checked, is also. It's an instrument. It's like playing the piano or the harp or the trumpet. You're not allowed to play instruments on Shabbos, right? Or on Yom Kippur, only when there's a mokum, special kula. Well, no room for kula over here. You want me to push away an Isser Darabonon or playing an instrument because you want to have your nice food? Sorry, no. In other words, we don't push away, right? We don't establish something that's for the good of the public for a kula. So next year they should know that they're allowed to start cutting the carrots or the potatoes. Yeah, and because of that, you're pushing away the prohibition of blowing of using an instrument? No, that's the answer. And I'll tell you a little secret that will stay the final answer as well. Shalom, shalom. Too loud even here. The Rav Shisha. And second answer, the Rav Shisha Brei Rav Idi, and some say it's Rav Sheshes Bar Idi. Omar, listen to this. Shvus kroi v'hitiru, shvus rechoiko lo hitiru, which means I planted the seeds already of this answer before. Shvus kroiva means if really the information you have to know with this shofar blowing is immediate, is nogea, applies now, then we would push away the Isser blowing shofar. We would. But here, it doesn't apply for now because you are starting your cooking process for tonight. Huh? Tonight is Shabbos. Last time I checked, and I'm allowed to cook on Shabbos. It's not traditional. Right? And therefore, you only talk about next year. Next year, no. To remind me now that I shouldn't get confused. So next year, I will know you're allowed this kniva business. That kind of shvus rechoiko, shvus that only applies in a year from now, for that, we don't push away the prohibition of blowing the shofar. Yeah, in other words, otherwise we would allow it, shvus kroiva, If it's something that gives us information of Kula, and I have to know that Kula now, I would even give up on the Tkiyat Shofar, and I would allow it. But since it doesn't apply now anyways, why? Because tonight, anyhow, I'm not going to cook. It's Shabbos tonight. It's now Friday, Yom Kippur, this particular Yom Kippur we're talking about. So therefore, of course, I'm not going to allow it because it's not Nugeh for this year. Why should I blow shofar now and break it the Rabbanon because of your plan D kind of thing? No. Nah, frag the Gemara, is that so? V'shvus koiva hetiru. I'm going to summarize soon the whole thing. V'shvus koiva hetiru. Is that so? Are you sure the Gemara is attacking of Shisha? Ve'atnan. This is a Mishnah at the end of the first parak of Chulin. It says something seemingly very simple. What happens, and that happens a lot. This entire Gemara, as we know, is not again halacha, right? Because Yom Kippur never falls on Friday. On Sunday, we still have to learn about it. I think based on Mikdash time will be different, but it does happen many, many times. Like this year, that Friday is Yom Tov or Sunday is Yom Tov. What happens then? Listen to this. Yom Tov shechal yos erev Shabbos. Yom Tov is on Friday, which means there's a lesser kedusha on Friday. You're allowed to cook, right? As a real Rosh Hashanah, right? You're allowed to make yourself a nice coffee the normal way. So much fun, right? On Friday, Rosh Hashanah, right? Or, yeah, Friday, Sukkot, whatever. Comes Shabbos. Hey, stop, right? Oh, therefore, toikin, right? You, of course, what do you have to do? You blow the shofar to remind people that soon you'll have to stop cooking, stop transferring things into the street, stop all the Eichel Nefesh, all the Shchita. Shabbos is coming, the higher Kedusha. Of course, you do Tkiyah for that. That's what Roselia asked the other time, yeah? Toikin, Veloy Mevdilin. You don't do Havdalah, as we all know. You don't do Havdalah why? You don't do Havdalah of Motzei Yom Tov. Havdalah is when you lessen the Kedusha, when you drop the Kedusha. But if Motzei Yom Tov is Leil Shabbos, there's no Havdalah, right? Why? Because you're heightening the Kedusha. You're elevating the Kedusha. Of course, there's no Havdalah. Very nice. What about the second case? Now, Motzei Shabbos, Mevdilin Velo Toikin. Let's say Yom Tov is Motzei Shabbos. Yeah? Shabbos is Shabbos. And Motzei Shabbos is Yom Tov. Okay, very nice. Mavdilin. Why Mavdilin? That's the whole craze of Yoknaz, the special candle and all that. Why Mavdilin? Because we're lessening the Kedusha. Very good, very good, very good. You remember Mavdilin because you're lessening the Kedusha. V'loy toikin. What does it mean loy toikin? Listen to this. Basically, on Shabbos, you're not going to be tokea to tell me to stop working. What do you mean the other way around? I'm going to start working. Yeah, blowing is in order to stop the work. That is where the red herring is. Frag the Gemara v'amai. Wait a second. Let's talk at the very last case we mentioned. Shabbos and Yom Tov is Motzei Shabbos. Let's do Tkiya. Litka boy, Litka. What Litka? Let us blow the shofar when? On Motzei Shabbos, which is Leil Yom Tov. Do the Tkiya as Shabbos is out. Why? People should know, hey, Yom Tov came, and if you believe Rav Shisha Breder Ravidi, that we do blow the shofar to inform people that they are allowed to do something, if you believe that Tkiyah works both ways, to tell people stop working, and you also say sometimes it's also to start working. Hey, wait, if Shabbos was not allowed b'shchita, shchita is just an example, shchita, bishul, oitzah, whatever, lisha, all these things you're allowed to do on Shabbos, you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. Yes, allowed to do on Yom Tov. You should have Tkiyas Shofar to inform people they're allowed to do that on Motzei Shabbos to tell people, hey guys, it's a fun. Do shchita, do bishul, do whatever you want. Do all the eichel nefesh, wash with hot water. Yeah, you see that you're wrong. We don't have such a tkiyah. We rejected the answer of Shisha Breder Avidi, and we say Rav Yosef was right. What did Rav Yosef say? Rav Yosef says, no, Tkiyah is a one direction, one-way ticket. It works one way, not the other. Meaning, Tkiyah, as we all know it every Friday afternoon, right? We hear the siren from Gilo, right? Friday afternoon, or whichever afternoon, or when we stop working, then you have the Tkiyah. But you never do Tkiyah in order to start working, to let people know that they're allowed to work. For that, we don't have Tkiyah. Now, Lemais, it's Machlokes Rishonim. Why is it Machlokes Rishonim? Because most Rishonim say, listen, there's no Tkiyah to let people know they're allowed b'melocha. However, the Rambam learns otherwise. The Rambam says, unbelievable. I saw the Rambam a few weeks ago. The Rambam says, I wonder if Taimanim really do that. Yeah, in their communities, I don't know. Just like you blow on Friday to tell people to stop working, so to every Motzei Shabbos, you're supposed to have a tkiya to let people know that they're allowed to start working. Wow. There's a tkiya to announce the termination of Shabbos and starting to work. Where does the Rambam take it from? I'll tell you, Pashut. Because the Gemara said, there's no problem with Stam doing Tkiya unless the Tkiya is an Isser. That was the whole vort all the time. The Gemara kept saying, we don't cheapen the Isser Drabanon of playing instruments on Shabbos and Yom Tov and Yom Kippur. That's why. That's why when it's Motzei Shabbos, which is Yom Tov, we don't blow because it's also to blow shofar and Yom Tov. That's why. But mashma, if it's regular Motzei Shabbos, you use your computer, you use your phone, you use your washing machine, you use your oven, you might as well blow to tell people really that Shabbos is out. That's what the Rambam holds. Other Rishonim say no. Other Rishonim say no. Pashup Pshat. Only on Yom Tov they say have an interest that people should know that they're allowed b'shchita because it's Simchas Yom Tov. On a regular Motzei Shabbos, if people don't want to do work, let them not do any work. Pashup. I can summarize soon, but let's hear your question. Oh yeah. So let's summarize very simply. So far, what did we say? There is a heter, according to most Rishonim, Knivas Yorok is not trying to intensify the Inui. It's a kula. People are starving hungry, Yom Kippur afternoon. They don't want to start preparing the whole bishul on Motzei Yom Kippur, right? Let them start the preparation for the bishul, the basic cutting and sorting. Let's do that Friday afternoon from Mincha Ktana Ulamala. Okay, very nice. Yeah. That's all. Why don't you blow the shofar for that? Because it doesn't justify it. We only blow shofar for Chumrah to let people know to stop working, not to start working or in doing any other kula. Very nice. Now, says the Gemara now the following. Let me ask you a very, very simple question before we start the next statement of Omer B'Zeh Avuna. Simple question. All of you here, I think, we're all keeping Shabbos. We try our best, try to keep Shabbos. That's a good start. Are you allowed, does that business apply every Shabbos? In other words, am I allowed to start preparing, taking things which will be even muktzah, I don't know, taking raw vegetables and start peeling and cutting and sorting and arranging for the feast I'm preparing on Motzei Shabbos? From living as from Jews no. It's only killing Yom Kippur. Why? Yom Kippur, misken, you're going to be starving Motzei Shabbos. Here you're not starving, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, there's no reason. You're eating very nicely now. Eat another Malav Malka on Motzei Shabbos. So basically, on Yom Kippur we have that kula, and on Shabbos we don't. What happens when there is a collision of the Titanics? What happens when it's Shabbos and Yom Kippur together, like this year? You have Shabbos and Yom Kippur all in one, same day. And the question is, are you or aren't you allowed to do that business of the Knivas Yarok preparation from afternoon to the night? Yes or no? In other words, who wins over? Yeah? We're on an arm wrestle? It's the Shabbos is Yom Kippur winning, and you will be allowed to do it. Or is Shabbos winning and you won't be able to do it? That's a question. Very simple. Yeah? Let's see. Omar Rabbi Zeira, Omar Avuna. Okay? The Amri Lo, some say, another opinion says, Omar Rabbi Abba, Omar Avuna. It's Ravuna on behalf of someone. Yom Kippur Shechal Yos B'Shabbos, do. Also B'Knivas Yorok. You're not allowed to do the Kniva business. Shabbos and Kippur are together. Shabbos trumps over. Shabbos wins. And you're not allowed to do the Knivas Yorok. You're not allowed to prepare in the afternoon, as hungry as you may be, Mister, we're so sorry, but Shabbos wins over, and now we're going to learn why. By the way, today we're about to meet a very, very, very important concept. It also explains to you why you're not allowed to use a smartphone on Shabbos, and I'm not joking. Yeah, very interesting. Yes, we're going from the vegetable to the smartphone. Omarav, Minotana, where do you know it from? How do you really know that we're so strict on, not preparing from Shabbos, afternoon to Motzei Shabbos? It's Yom Kippur, so let's be a bit more flexible. Listen to this. Very, very, very basic Yisodi de Kebraisa. I'm going to follow Rashi with explanations. Minay with Ritva. Ritva here is plays a big role. Minayim liyom kippurim shechal yos b'Shabbos. Mamish our case. Yom Kippur is together with the Shabbos. She'also b'knivas yarok. Oh, mamish. We're learning a pasuk in the Torah. Now, knivas yarok is an example for preparing. How do you know that you're not allowed to start preparing food from Yom Kippur to Motzei Yom Kippur if it fell on Shabbos? A regular Yom Kippur, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no problem. Shabbos, no. I don't know. Talmud Loimar. Now, this is a very, very, very key pasuk. The pasuk is a pasuk that Moshe Rabbeinu told Bnei Israel at the man. If you remember, the first time Bnei Israel were commanded on Shabbos was not in Matan Torah. No, it wasn't. It was in the man, right? Moshe told them, don't collect extra, don't collect on Shabbos, you have extra on Friday, don't keep it, the whole business. Okay, very nice. And the pasuk says over there, I'm reading inside in the sidebar, it says, "V'emer alem hu asher diber Hashem Shabboson Shabbos Kodesh Lashem." Machar, yeah, tomorrow there will be a day of Shabboson. Yom Shabboson means a day of rest. Listen to the words. It's a positive commandment. Yeah, you should rest. You should have a situation of resting. And how do you know Talmud Loimar Shabboson? Shvois. Shvois means it's an active commandment. It's a mitzvah asay to rest on Shabbos. And the question is, Lamai, what do you need it for? Are you telling me not to do malacha? You're just saying it in a different way? Why do you need the mitzvah asay? What? V'aksiv lo ta'aseh kol malacha. It says about 12 times in the Torah not to do malacha. I kind of got the picture. Why does the Torah have to tell me positive, positive? Why? I know not to do malacha. In other words, if this knivas yorok is an example. If the Torah is coming to allow or actually forbid the knivas yorok in the afternoon when you do malacha, let's say there is toichet. Let's say it's in the garden and you pick it from the garden. Let's say it is boiler. You take real garbage. Then you're coming to tell me not to do malacha on on Shabbos afternoon, Shabbos Yom Kippur Shabbos afternoon. I don't need that extra piece of information. I know I'm not allowed to do malacha on Shabbos. Elalav must be a knivas yarok shmamina, meaning must be that there is no prohibition d'oraisa involved, as I stressed before at the beginning of Shir. We're talking about a guy who he's walking on eggshells. He's cutting the vegetables and he's careful not to do boirer, not to do toichen, not to do koitzer, not to do whichever one, whatever that is. And he's doing all the right things, but yet the Torah tells him the mere fact you're preparing what? You're preparing from Shabbos to Motzei Shabbos, that itself is the Avera of Shvois. Now, that itself, the Torah says the Ritva, and I saw the famous Ramban, finally I saw it pretty well, Baruch Hashem. It's Ramban in Parshas Emo. We have a mitzvah de oraisa here. Listen to the very, 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 very important yesod for Kol Hilchos Shabbos. People would ask you, why can't I use my smartphone? Listen to let's say it's mutter, which is obviously osir, but let's say you don't really do mechaber, mavir, or whatever. The problem is that let's leave alone the technical details. No, on Shabbos, why not use a smartphone? Unfortunately, some people have this question. I'm glad that for us it's ridiculous. No, not solo, first time, because they want to meet their friends in Shem Shmo. What? Okay. The kids it's nice, you're such a Blev Yitzchak Mivarditchev, I'm happy for you, really. So now, no, really, he's a nice guy. So now listen to this. The Ritva, I wish I had more time to explain, I'll tell you in short. We see that seems to be mitzvah d'oraisa of shvois, meaning, what shvois? You should have a situation of shvisa. It's not enough just not to break the 39 malachos. You should have a clear atmosphere of a day of rest in which you're not working. What does it practically mean? What practically means is the fact that, listen carefully to what I'm telling you. The Torah tells you to listen to all the Isurei Chazal that tell you not to do all kinds of things that will make your day a work day. I just said it in one line, Baruch Hashem, which means, why can't you tell a guy to work? You can run a whole business, a whole law firm, whole factory, sitting at the desk, not enjoying your Shabbos, just telling the guy what to do. It's a work day. The Ramban says, you're going to get, we're going to start schlepping high. Why aren't you allowed to schlep heavy tables unnecessarily? Midarabanon. But that Isser Darabanon is really a cum of the large Deoraisa of Shvois. You should same thing preparing. If you're going to start preparing, let's say you have an event on Motzei Shabbos, you're an event planner, designer. You're going to prepare the whole event, the whole Shabbos. It's a work day, and you'll be very careful. You want to toichen, you want to koitzer, but you'll lemaisa. You're not going to have Shabbos either. That is the oraisa. No, that's not Easter. That mitzvah to say the oraisa of Shavuos. You should have a day of rest. So clearly, the smartphone is out of the picture. Pashut me'oid. It'll be a day of work, a day of non-Shabbos-dik activities, right? Even if it would be allowed mitzvah the 39 malachas. And that's why preparing for Shabbos afternoon is also mamish unbelievable. The side of the Ritva over here and the Raman in Parshas Emor, in Perk Chav Gimel or something like that. So that's answer number one. Mimela, what? Mimela, even though Yom Kippur is a way, it's a day which you are allowed to. You know why? Says Rashi on Yom Kippur, there's no Isser. Why? Because in Yom Kippur, it says Shabbos means something else. That positive commandment of have a day of rest is about Shabbos, not about Yom Kippur. I mean, maybe generally it's true about Yom Kippur. You're not allowed to sell and buy and do a Mir al-Nochri, but that particular branch of it, of preparation, Chacham were not goizer. But on Shabbos, it's a Doraisa. Because once Chachamim forbade it in Shabbos, it's automatically part of the Doraisa. Get what I'm saying? It's a general, I said Doraisa with branches of the Rabbanon. Basically, Hashem told you, I'm giving you a general positive commandment to listen to all the Yisur the Rabbanon lepirteim. It's like one tree with many, many branches. The trunk is a mitzvah says the Doraisa, be Mekayim, the positive thing of have a day of rest. Don't be in your office, in your mind, or with a goyim, or with all kinds of measuring or selling and buying. Who gives you all the branches, the details, Chazal? Right? And therefore, if Shabbos and Kippur are together, Shabbos wins over, because it's an Issa Doraisa at the end of the day. It's a Chiyuv Doraisa. That's answer number one. That's opinion number one. Omar, Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan, yeah, Yom Kippurim, yeah, a few lines, Yom Kippurim, kama shot mimata, yeah. Yom Kippurim shechal yos b'Shabbos, mutar b'knivas yarok, boom, the other way around. You heard that? Yom Kippur and Shabbos are together, yeah, they collide. Who wins? Who wins over? Yom Kippur. You're allowed to do knivas yarok. You're allowed to prepare, even though it's Shabbos. You're allowed to prepare on Yom Kippur / Shabbos afternoon for Motzei Yom Kippur. And the question obviously is, what? Meisivi. What we said before is a proof, now becomes a question. Meisivi, minayin Yom Kippurim shechal yos b'Shabbos she'oso b'knivas yarok. Let's bring you a source, the Oraisa. Yom Kippur that fell on Shabbos is also to prepare the vegetable from the afternoon to the night. Talmud Loimar, Shabbos and Shavuos. Oh, yeah, and what did we say? You're supposed to have a positive situation of Shavuos, of stop doing malacha. Lemai. What does that Shavuos mean? That positive commandment of yes, have a day of rest. What is it telling you? If you talk about real malachas, the 39 malachas, right? It says lo tasekol malacha. So why do I need a positive commandment if I have a negative one, eloi taseh, not to do malacha, right? If we talk about the real doraisas, boirer, koisev, me'amer, yeah, all these, why do I need b'chlal another pasuk? I know you're not allowed to do it from the lav. Ela b'knivas yarok. Aha. Ela must be what we said before. The Torah is telling you should keep all the derabbanons as a way to maintain the Shabbos atmosphere. So preparing from Shabbos into Motzei Shabbos is an Issa D'Rabbanon, which is indirectly D'Oraisa. So how can you push it because you're hungry? Chutzpah, right? Who cares it's Yom Kippur? It's an Issa D'Oraisa Mitzvah Shabbos. And says the Gemara, Loi, no. Loi l'melacha v'lavor la'baseh v'lo ta'aseh. Wow, this opinion learns completely different. Really, Enochinami, there is no Chiyuv D'Oraisa of maintaining a Shabbos dik atmosphere. Maybe the Rabbanon, not the Oraisa. So why is the Torah telling me Shvois? Really, when the Torah told you Shvois, meaning do rest, have a day of rest, it does refer to the 39 malachos. Why is it necessary? Pashut. The Torah many, many times, we also saw it by the way in the second parak, I don't know if you remember, the Torah many times gives you a say and lo ta'aseh on the same action. So you're gaining more. Every time you have a Yetzer Hara to, I don't think we do, but in theory, you have Yetzer Hara to pick up the pen and write something, yeah, or open your, I don't know, whatever this computer, whichever is the Doraisa, you're mekayim two things. You're not over lo ta'aseh, and you're mekayim in a set. En chinami. It's not any new information here. The same 39 melachos you're not allowed to do, they also have a mitzvah saseh sitting on them. That's all. But anything that's not doraisa, all the rabbanons, don't tell a goy, don't do business, don't prepare from Shabbos to Motzei Shabbos, all the rabbanon. They're not doraisa. If it's just the rabbanon, hey, voila. Mimela what? Mimela, if it's Yom Kippur and Shabbos together, then I am allowed to do it because it's only so the rabbanon. And rabbanon have the right to allow me to do that. Because it's not really the Oraisa. The same Rabbanon, it's only the Rabbanon. It didn't become, it's not part of that big tree, that big picture. It's only the Rabbanon according to this opinion. Mimela, if it's Yom Kippur with Shabbos, the same Rabbanon that said it's not allowed, they can say it is allowed. Mimela, it's good. Tani Kamose, yeah, from now on it's pretty easy, and I would just like to finish the parak if we can in 3 minutes. Tani Kavose Rabbi Yochanan. We have a brisa that supports Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said that it is not allowed. Rabbi Yochanan is the one who said, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. No, I'm sorry. Rabbi Yochanan says mutar b'knivas yorok. If Yom Kippur and Shabbos together is like Rabbi Yochanan. The Gaon here has a different version. The Gaon says that the following brisa doesn't support Rabbi Yochanan but supports the other opinion. We'll see now. Yom Kippur shachal yos b'Shabbos mutar b'knivas yorok. Okay, that seems to be like Rabbi Yochanan, right? When it's a combination of Yom Kippur and Shabbos, because the shvois is only a derabanan, it's not the oraisa. Therefore, if Yom Kippur and Shabbos together, the same Rabbanon that told you not allowed, on Yom Kippur, they do allow it, even at the expense of Shabbos. Now, the Lamaisa, the Goyen is a different girsa, that halacha is not like Rabbi Yochanan. Halacha is like the other, and that's more la halacha. Because la halacha, there is a chiyuv d'oraisa, according to the Ramban, to keep the Shabbos atmosphere, even in a none of the 39. Now, let's continue. Let's read the round brackets, even though usually I don't, but here we do. Yom Kippur, that's on a regular weekday. Yom Kippur, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mefatzin begoizim. You're allowed to start preparing your meal. What are you allowed to do? Crack the nuts. Mefakisin berimoinim. Mefakisin rimoinim. You peel the pomegranate and you start taking out those red nice kernels. Minamincha ulamala. Mipnei ogmas nefesh. What's ogmas nefesh? Once it's Yom Kippur afternoon, and you know that tonight you'll be starving hungry, then I'm going to start preparing the meal? Oh, crazy? No, I want to start preparing now. To avoid ogmas nefesh of being starving hungry and then starting to prepare the meal Yom Kippur, that's too much, so Chachamim allowed you. Okay? Now, the Vera Biuda Mekanvi Karva. In the house of Abuda, they would cut mikanvi, whatever that means, either cutting or washing, as we said, the kruv, the cabbage. Devei Rabba gardikar. In the house of Rabba, they would start to grind, not to grind, to grate or to peel the kari. Not grating could be the oraisa if it's too thin. They grated or they peeled in a way that's allowed. The pumpkin. Kevin the Chazadavuka Mechafi. Now Rabbi said, Rabbi saw one point, they got a little bit too happy about it. They started it too early. You're only allowed to do it Yom Kippur afternoon, Zman Mincha Ktana. You're not allowed to do it before. They started already preparing too early. Omar, Rabbi saw that his Bnei Bais, his wife, his children, his servants did it too early. That's not allowed. Because you may come to eat it, because you're too hungry, and you're not close enough to the end of the tzom. Omar Lehu, so Rabbi told them, he told them something which wasn't true to stop them from Isser, and he told them a new letter came from Eretz Yisrael from Rabbi Yochanan, who was the Gadol of Eretz Yisrael. They're not allowed to bichlal. That this whole heter goes, down the drain. He saw that they were abusing the heter or preparing the food of Yom Kippur afternoon, and they started, it wasn't Ne'ilah time, it was more like Musaf time, like V'nesan Toikif time, yeah. So then he saw that this is already getting too trigger happy over here, and he said, came a new letter. Apparently, a person is allowed to be mishaker bnei abayis. It's a chiddush. Don't try it at home. I mean, ask your rabbi or your shalom baismacher. I don't know. Well, the Maisa Rabba found it necessary to tell the bnei. They wouldn't listen to him, but they would listen to Rabbi Yochanan. If you feel bad that people don't listen to you at home, they didn't listen to Rabbi either. You had to tell them that a great Rebbe from Eretz Yisrael came with a new letter, a new michtav, or Moshe Elul Hirsch, Baruch Hashem. Hadan lach velu kshorim. Tafasnu kshorim. Now we have kshorim the Kodesh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hashem. So tomorrow, call Kisvei, Rabbi Isai, new parak tomorrow to win the war, Baruch Hashem. Yeah.
The Ramban.
Thank you to Torah Anytime and YouTube participants. Thank you.
So the Ramban